All right, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
Mika, you do not disappoint.
Ooh.
So for those of you who don't, I wonder why I'm saying Mika. So this is actually a gift from one of our friends, the Austin Arthur.
Long-time friend, too.
Long-time friend, too.
Yeah. Just been here since the beginning.
Yeah, so this one is Echigo Tsurukame Wine Kobo Shikomi Junmai Daiginjo. Have we had this before?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I feel like Wine Kobo Shikomi, I've seen that in something else that we've had. Like it's about wine something. But
yeah,
regardless, this is tasty.
Yeah. It's got like a bitter fruitiness that wine has.
Yeah, it's got it's the fruitiness, but the depth, I feel like there's more of a depth to it, like what wine has.
Yeah.
So Dai Seikai, thanks so much. This is great. Echigo Tsurukame. Let's see, where's this company from? I'm guessing it's from Niigata, of course, because it's Echigo. Echigo Tsurukame. Wonderful. So, any other thoughts about this sake?
It's yummy.
It's yummy. Yummy. Thank you. So yeah, so if you guys, we always love getting sake from our friends or from our fans. And so if any of you guys want us to try something, there's a link in the description where you can send us something. So please don't stalk us because it has my actual address in it. Kind of.
Why did you say it's your actual address?
Because
you could have just said that was a P.O. box.
I actually can't set it as a P.O. box though.
Oh, because it's like packages?
Yeah, because some sake needs refrigeration, and you can't send refrigerated items to a P.O. box.
Well, that's not Arthur's actual address. That is a sake address.
Let me tell you guys, I'm being a little bit sneaky, so if you want to stalk me, you still can't. Let's just leave it there. But I don't have many stalkers. Anyways, so today we're not talking about stalkers, although that would be an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah,
in the future.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, I wanted to talk first about an experience that I had that really made me think about group identity and how Japan is really like a group-based culture versus America's very much individual-based, you know? So I went to this seminar and it was a seminar about facing yourself, trying to become who you really are, one of those vaporous kind of like not specific, let's make you feel better and have more confidence about yourself because someone recommended I go.
Yep.
It was 2 days, very intense. And it was really funny because so there were 2 days of the seminar and the first day it said the seminar starts at 9, but the doors are open from 8:40. So like, okay, so I'll just try to get there early and talk to people. So I arrived 20 minutes early. That's fine. And then we go through, like, we break off into small groups where we're kind of working through our past trauma or something like that, you know, trying to really find out who we are and kind of clear all this junk we've accumulated over our lives, which was nice. But then at the end of I think it was like 8 hours. It was like continuously 8 hours. The guy said, okay, so tomorrow the session starts at 10. And on the schedule, it said it started at 10. I was like, great, okay. Well, 20 minutes early today. I'll do 20 minutes early tomorrow, 9:40. I'm at 9:40. And right after I thought that, he said, but the doors are open at 9 a.m. and you don't have to come if you don't want to. It's completely optional. But if you want to come and talk to your group about what you've been thinking, you're free to come early. So in my mind, I was thinking, oh yeah, sure. Okay. So we can just come whenever we want. You know, I took the words at face value. And so then we went back into our groups to decide what time we're all going to arrive. And I guess in my mind, I was thinking tell the group what time each of us will be coming.
Yeah.
But probably what was happening is what time is the group going to join? That's probably what they meant because I misunderstand that stuff a lot. It was 100% in Japanese, you know, no English whatsoever. I was the only non-Japanese person there. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I show up in the group and like, there's 6 of us. So the first person says, oh yeah, 9 a.m. is good. Next person says, yeah, 9 a.m. is good. And then our support coach leader guy looks around and says, oh yeah, so 9 a.m.? And everyone was like, yeah, nodding their head. And I was thinking, oh crap, everyone's going to come at 9. They're expecting me to come at 9. But this is a seminar. about finding your true self, not worrying about what people think, but being fully honest with who you are and acting with confidence. So I said, okay, guys, that's great. I'm coming at 9:40. And it was like, it was like a wrench got thrown in the gears of everyone's mind, and they just stopped, looked at me, and like seriously, it was like robot does not compute. Does not compute? Does not, like one of those things. Yeah. And people are like, oh, why? It's like, yeah, well, I figured 9:40 is the right time for me to come, because also like I feel like you shouldn't need to justify your decisions if it's a true decision from yourself, especially because that's what the seminar is. So the truth was, I wanted to spend time with my family, and I didn't want to be rushed in the morning because, the kids, my kids are my number one priority. I have a short amount of time before they say, Dad, go away. You're kimoy. Dad, you're boring. Like, that time's going to leave. Yeah. So they were just like, oh, are you busy? I was like, no, I just like things at home, and I want to come at 9:40. And everyone was looking at me like they black sheeped me, like, oh, this guy's not serious about this stuff. And like, as we were getting ready to leave, one guy from the group came and patted me on the shoulder. He's like, Arthur, I understand you want to come at 9:40, but I think everyone would be really happy if you came at 9.
Got it. Don't you love that, like, guilt tripping?
I know. And I was like, I understand that, but this is a seminar about, following what is right. And that's the right decision for me. And so what was funny, though, is that I left, and then the next day I came over, and what I didn't realize was that everyone else came at 9 a.m. I was the only person who came at 9:40. But the funny thing is like you come at 9, then the doors are closed, and you can't go in or leave. And I told them, I was like, hey, I'm here at 9:40. I showed up like 9:41, because I wanted to be on time for this, because I wanted to hear what everyone was doing, right? And they're like, oh yeah, the doors are closed. We're just about to finish. Finish? I thought we start at 10. I thought this was like a free-flowing thing. But anyway, so they open the door at 9:40, and one group starts to come out, and I kind of zip line in, and I sit in with my group, and my support coach guy, he hands me my name tag and says, oh, gomen ne owatta, mo owatta. It's all done. We already finished. It's like, what? I thought we were just talking, And apparently it all finished at 9:40. And I asked my other team members, I said, oh, did you guys know it was going to end at 9:40? Did they say something? They're like, no, they didn't say anything. So like I showed up to be told I was late and that we were already done. And then we all left and went to like the hikaishi, to the other like waiting room where we go for rest breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there, I really saw everyone saw me as like the black sheep. And they're like, Arthur, why didn't you come? Like, you paid money for this. We're thinking, what did you pay money for? And I told them the real answer, because I just wanted them to stop bothering me about this. So I told them that I just love my kids so much. And I don't want to go a day with them thinking, Dad chose work over me, And that's why I have my own office. That's why I don't work at home, because I don't want them to say, Dada asobo, and I say, no, I have to work. I don't want them to feel that,
Yeah.
And the thing about this seminar was that we were supposed to be really emotionally vulnerable and really not hide our feelings.
Yeah.
And I really took that to heart, even though they thought I was half-assing everything. But something in me, like the love I had for my kids just started overflowing, and I just started like sobbing big time, just not out of like trying to convince them or feeling guilty or feeling sad. I was just so happy for love for my kids, right? And it was at that moment when they realized, oh, Arthur really loves his kids. Oh, that's okay. And then someone said to me, oh, Arthur, if you told us you wanted to stay at home because you love your kids so much, that would have been okay. You should have said something. And in my mind, I'm thinking, we're not, the whole purpose of this seminar is to be yourself and to like not apologize for who you are, And that's when I really felt like, man, this is so Japan right now.
Yeah, there's a couple, like, listening to that story, there's a couple things that I feel like I really want to address. Like, one of the big things for me is, hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're going to love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur Friends, you're going to really improve your English listening, and I mean a lot. As a friend of ours, you will get each episode ahead of time with no ads, so you can watch before anyone else. But not just that, you can ask us questions or leave comments, and we will make a special video each week answering questions and responding to comments. These videos will not be released publicly. They are for friends, members only. It's a great way for you to ask our opinions directly and for us to respond directly. You'll also get listening practice questions and answers that you can check. Answers are for friends, members only. Oh, and anaume mondai mo desu ne. So you can check your listening. But not just that, for each episode, you'll get a list of native phrases we said from the video, along with practice sentences and pronunciation practice to help your speaking as well. You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely.
This is a great way to support our show, but also get closer to us and improve your English as well. For more information, click on the link in the description box, the Gayorang, or go to our website, austinandarthur.com.
If you compare, like, let's say if you had that seminar in the US and you compare it to your experience in the seminar here in Japan, one of the things that really strikes me as like different is the conversation you had with your group on the second day after it was done, where they said like, oh, well, you paid money for this. So like, why are you doing this? If this was in the US, no one would ask that question.
Yeah.
Because people don't care what you do with your money.
Yeah.
Like what you do with your money, like from the perspective of an American, what you do with your money is your own business, and no one has any say whatsoever about what you do. You can blow it all, you can save it and spend nothing, and you won't face judgment for people because it's the mindset of like, oh, well, you know what? This is your decision to do. Yeah. Like if you pay for a seminar and don't show up, then okay, but that's your decision.
But that's your decision.
Right? Yeah, right. So it's that really surprises me.
Yeah. I think more than anything, because after that, they also said, yeah, we're kind of questioning like your commitment to this group.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny because it really gave me flashbacks of my religious upbringing, because I went to a church in Seattle that was almost cult-like, like that. And they had a lot of that performative stuff in it,
So that's why I like growing up Catholic. You just admit you're a cult from the beginning, and then there's like no ambiguity about it, right? It's like, oh, no, we're a cult. That's just what we are.
Yeah.
There's no like shadowy nonsense. It's like, no, you're gonna submit to this, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. No, but it was so funny because like I feel like in the States, so Christianity. Let's face it. So reading the Bible, when you read the Bible about what Christianity is, Christianity is communism.
Okay.
And like it says that the people lived together. They sold all their possessions. They lived communally, and they shared everything. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to eat dinner together. You're supposed to live life together.
Yeah.
And like, so I feel like if you try to follow that, you have this almost like cult kind of mindset. But it was just so funny to me how, like, they're talking about individuality, but you can't shake that individuality here because I feel like people here rely so much on what the group says.
Okay.
And even if they have their own opinion, it's almost like you and I, we can break the rules because we're foreign.
Yeah.
But like, my wife is held to a completely different standard. So if she does what I do. It's like, why aren't you conforming to the group?
It's I really experienced this when I first moved to Japan because did you ever meet Kelly? Do you know Kelly?
The one who worked at the yeah.
You did meet her?
Yeah. I filled in for her. I replaced her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kelly was a really cool coworker that I had. We both came on Jet together.
She was a Japanese American.
She was Japanese American. She was also from Seattle.
Mhm.
We got plucked out of the Seattle. I met her after I moved here,
Yeah.
but we became really good coworkers and colleagues together. And it was really interesting working alongside her because I mean she was just full red-blooded American,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Her parents.
I'm more Japanese than she is.
Yes, honestly. Her parents were also Japanese American. She's 100% Japanese. If you ethnically, if we're trying to like use that terminology, but her grandparents are both from Japan,
Mhm.
right? On both sides,
Mhm.
right? And so she speaks fluent Japanese.
Mhm.
But a lot of the culture here she's not really familiar with because the difference between Japanese American and Japanese is like night and day. It's you might as well just be comparing two different people.
Yeah.
Because
They're Americans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like there's different cultures that Japanese Americans have like picked up as they got like mixed with other Asian cultures and stuff. But anyways, so when we started working here, I noticed that we would be treated very, very differently.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. If I made a mistake at work, people would approach me just very gently, be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, you made that mistake. You know, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you made a mistake. So just try your best next time."
Yeah.
And then, if Kelly would make a mistake, it'd be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why would you make this mistake?
Yeah.
Like, don't you know better?" Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, right.
And I remember like she would tell me about this and then I would experience it like, after about a year, I experienced it and like I kind of saw somebody scolding her in front of me and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's weird because I feel like there's so much pressure here to keep the group together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it makes me like, I feel like a lot of, especially Americans, because, America's super individualistic. I feel like if a lot of Americans, when they come to Japan and they're in the work culture here, they almost like see lots of Japanese people as like psychopaths, as in like there's no moral compass, but everything is about conformity and expediency and utility. And like, because I have so many friends who came here and they're like, I want to get to know you personally. I want to become friends with you. And they just don't get let in that way because these people are trying to keep this facade of, that's working with the group.
I think the first time I really got kind of like opened up to how things work here, again, when I first came here, so I moved to Japan when I was 27.
Yeah.
So at that point, like I already had like a pretty significant amount of like work experience, like, working at business, working in the military, working at construction. And one of the things that's really common in American companies is performance reviews.
Yeah.
Like usually like quarterly, sometimes monthly or, whatever time set. Your boss will sit you down and be like, "Hey, here's where you fucked up. Here's what you did good. Here's what I want to improve on, and here's where we kind of need to make some adjustments," right?
And it's very straightforward.
And and it's not meant to like really like break you down.
Yeah.
It's like just here's from my perspective as your employer, here's how you've been performing.
Yeah.
How I see it.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of Americans really like this because it gives us something to aim for to improve. Like, oh, well, I'm glad that I'm getting praise for things that I do at work. Or, I kind of had a feeling like my work hasn't been going well. And now my boss is telling me that things aren't going well. But I now know where I need to improve.
Yeah, right. It's very clear.
So it's usually a very positive experience. Yeah. And so when I first came here, obviously we don't have that here in Japan. That just basically doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I brought it up to my school at the time. Like, look, like I'm not going to sugarcoat things. You guys are wanting me to be a teacher. I don't have a lot of teaching experience at the time.
At the time.
And I want you to tell me where I need to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and not to really legal information about my current school, but I love my current school because we do teacher sit-ins.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So my boss and my coworkers will come. Sometimes we schedule it up. They don't just randomly show up, but they'll come in and observe my classes and be like, "Hey, you know what? This lesson, here's what you did well. Here's what I'd like you to improve on," and it is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so helpful. But I was really frustrated when I first came here because there's no feedback, but also I feel like there's no accountability for anything.
Yeah. Well, so the way that
you know what I mean?
The way that I see it is like everything is in a black box. Everything is so opaque. You don't know what's happening in there. You just see what comes out of it, and you're trying to figure out what's going on inside.
Yeah. Like
free, man.
Oh, thank you, Arthur. I requested to observe a teacher's lesson.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to improve as a teacher.
Yeah.
And she got so angry at the idea of that. Like she screamed at me this was an English department meeting. And
so in front of everyone else.
Yes. She got so angry at the idea of that. Because she said it was like an invasion of privacy, and it's like I'm putting her on trial.
Classroom.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was so surprised about it. And I don't think that's normal. First of all, I don't think that all Japanese people are like that. But it just really kind of emphasizes the point that I think that like there's just not there's not room in a lot of, especially businesses here, when you get in a group situation, it feels like there's not a lot of room for that individual growth.
Yeah.
Right? It's you are set on this path that the company or whatever group you're in has decided. And there's a big emphasis on conforming to that mindset or belief, whatever the majority belief is.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see it with politics here, right? You see it with the government here, in that first of all, not a lot of people tend to vote in this country, but once the leading party kind of takes over, you see this like mindset shift.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up a recent example, and that probably in the past like 10 or 15 years, Japan has like really like embraced bringing people in from different cultures and countries. And then recently, we had a big shift with Takaichi taking power, where the mindset is, okay, we need to kick all the foreigners out, and we need to like really lock down things, right? And whether or not you agree with that or disagree, I think everyone can acknowledge that there's been a huge cultural shift in Japan in just the past year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the crazy thing is not that it's unique, because I think America's going through the same thing too.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing to me is how fast it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It was just like overnight, like, oh, everyone's like, oh yeah. Let's get these guys out.
It was funny because it was really only over like a few months where I really felt the atmosphere here change.
Right?
Yeah. And it's funny because, so we talked about this over lunch, but I'm reading a book right now about, it's called Embracing Defeat by John Dower. It's about the American occupation of Japan during after World War II finished.
Yeah.
And it was really surprising because, and he has like his documented sources for all of this. Like he looked up actual Asahi Shimbun articles and stuff like this from the time. But before, everyone was saying like Tenno Heika, like he's God, right? And then right when the war ended, a surprising percentage of the community, there was a poll in Osaka that I think 50% of people interviewed said that they think the emperor should abdicate because he messed up.
Yeah.
And we need something new. And then also when MacArthur came in, right? He was getting fan mail by the hundreds every day.
That's so crazy.
People saying like MacArthur, I wrote you a song out of the gratitude of my heart. Or, MacArthur, we have a picture of you next to the emperor in our house.
What?
And like,
Can you imagine going to a house and seeing like General MacArthur's?
yeah. And people were seeing him as like the savior of Japan. Whereas a month before, 2 months before, he was like the devil incarnate, you know? And it's just weird how this switch happens so fast.
Yeah, it's, it's there. It can be a positive or a negative force. Like, one of the things that I really admire about Japan is I feel like people individually, I feel like people take a long time to come to a decision.
Yeah.
A very long time. Like, I've encountered this with my wife. I've encountered this with my students. I've encountered this, like, pretty much anybody I meet here. If I ask them, about something where they have to make a decision, it takes a long time for some reason.
Yeah.
Where I think Americans, it doesn't.
Yeah.
However, when you get in a group setting, one of the things that really astonishes me about living in Japan is when you're in a group setting, people come to decisions super fast.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as there's like an agreed upon belief in a group here, it's like everyone's just on board. Like, oh, yep, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like the opposite in America, right?
Yeah. When you have the group, it's chaos.
Yeah.
When you have the individual, it's great in America. But, it's so funny because this really reminds me of when I did a company vacation thing. It's the only time I've ever done it.
Yeah.
But at that time, I had about 7 people working with me. And we decided to go to Shirahama in Wakayama just to celebrate a good year. This is 2023, right?
Yeah.
And my dad came along for the ride because, oh, look, my son, the CEO, he has this company, And so he came around. He and I were both astonished that when we got to the Airbnb that we were staying at, everyone just like switched modes. So like, okay, you get this. Okay, I'm going to go get this. I'm going to go get this. And everyone worked together in perfect unity.
Yeah.
And everything worked flawlessly. And like in the United States, if this was in the United States, you'd have one person who's a leader that says, you do this.
Yeah.
And someone would be like, I don't want to do that. That's stupid. You go do that. And like, there would be so much chaos happening,
Yeah.
And it's like, that's really great. But I feel like when you're seen as in the group, everything switches on and everything's okay.
Yeah.
But when you're seen as outside of the group, that switch flips again and you are like blown away.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there can be a happy medium to that.
I don't think there can be.
Yeah.
Because I think a person, first of all, I think we're greatly influenced by the environment that we grow up in. But I don't know if you can really teach that to people here.
Teach what?
Like individualism.
Okay.
I think that you'll experience this if you talk to Japanese people who've lived abroad.
Yeah.
You'll definitely experience that, but I don't think you'll really experience that here. And the reason why is I think people naturally form into group mentalities. Because if you think about like history, you think of like tribalism, right?
Yeah.
And it's really easy to form into the group mentality. If you really want to get at base levels, your chances of survival will go up when you're in a group.
Yeah.
Right? The reason why Americans have such like strong individualism is because of our history.
Yeah.
Like America was a dangerous place.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't rely on groups. First of all, there was a lot of racial tension, not just between black and white people, but like Italians, Irish, like any race or ethnic group you can think of hated the other group.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was not a lot of group mentality. It was a new country. Like there's all these reasons why groups just don't really exist in the US.
Yeah.
Right? And so people really, you had to rely on yourself.
Yeah.
Especially if you're moving out west, like you didn't have the luxury of having established civilization.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so that's where that mindset comes from of like, okay, well, you know what? Screw everybody else. This is my opinion, and I'm not shifting from this because this is what I trust.
It's that pioneer spirit.
Yeah.
And even like when you think about all of the non-native, well, let me be more like conservative about this. all of the Caucasian European people who came to who are in the United States now are here because their ancestors thought, my life here is bad.
Yeah.
I can get a better life. I'm going to be different from the other people in my group, and I'm going to make a better life for myself.
So there's a little bit of confirmation bias with that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, I would love to see what you guys think about this.
For sure.
We talked about a lot of stuff. Do you have anything you want to ask the audience?
I think my question to people after watching this episode is, what do you think? I want to know really, what do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing that Japan like kind of shifts into a group mentality? And do you find yourself going along with that, or do you think that you go against the grain? Because I'm sure that a lot of people who watch our show have traveled around a bit, and so they've experienced other cultures, and so they know that there's a difference, right? Yeah.
I mean, I would love to hear. Also, if you guys have any like episodes in your life of where you really felt the group mentality versus individuality mindset, I would love to hear. I would love to hear about how American individualism causes more problems than it solves. So if you guys have any of those negative ideas about America,
my God, man.
bring them on.
Honestly, like that, it would be so easy to do that.
I know, we need to make another episode all about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, for sure.